Um, Hi, Mr. Kelvin.
Hello, seriously,
Ajeribo, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Yeah, the data clash is really too, so I'm going to Birmingham. It's like, they people
Okay.
from me, Papa. Can't see, for roads, I'm going on share network, so I'll just come back
Yeah.
in and come. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Go on.
Hello, seriously.
Ajeribo. Bora rukurwadza mazwana.
I guess I'm the first one. I'm the first one, apart from you, yeah.
Yeah, we are the two live at the
Uh,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Next time maybe you boy guys.
You are such Zimbabweans.
At least the Panama normally 5 past 7, 10 past 8 was here, so which is not bad. I see it is Zimbabwe with the 7, he kind of 8 o'clock.
Yeah, the true Zimbabwean fashion 78. 89.
Zakanaka na 89. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't want
Yeah.
why was you gonna 4, not to be gonna have
Yeah.
2.
Then
But no
people will
possible
come.
man. But no possible man go to 4. But
Yeah.
I apologize, but no no. Because which is
Tanonoka.
what you have, I think the right time you wish you can have.
Ongowagara wakaplana for. That's interesting. That's Zim time for real. I remember I had a birthday party for one of my aunties a few months back. It was supposed to start at 3, but it started at 6, and people still missed 6 o'clock. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Done.
that's Zim time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
that's
one.
Zim time.
At the time, but one went through was also and
Yeah.
most of the time, so I know Nah, udara. Well, I don't know what one hour. Jawi.
I guess we are learning from the foreigners because it is Tambani time.
Right. So would so. Can I want to do one how to teach a boss him? When jam good one, man. Not that. I said 4. Can you pick me up at 4,
Yeah,
please?
not not your African time.
No, not the not the African time.
Yeah, more. I
About
think
what demand is about what they have.
hey, aiwa. Pani mabuza and otamba niwani ukubasa. And so there are, think about 3 Africans. So now whenever they are telling us, they say, OJ na Michael, it's 8 p.m., not 8 p.m. African time. 8 p.m. for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
interesting.
know that.
Yeah, they know
Yeah, I know
us.
that. I think that. Funny, funny group that go Derby.
Yeah,
Raji, they organize a club here. They've been doing okay. I know. Very community kawa na go. Don't me they
yeah,
go. Takara unsa nenda since they get to operation yeah.
yeah.
But then of no owner some boys ma. Oga Salama face sound class, but it's only 20 minutes Derby from my house here. So
Okay.
like my Sunday, Muscat. Because the face Ravas, but I will join and Sunday league. So now they're playing Sunday league. I think they played
Mm,
three three games now. Sunday the second
okay.
jita. My yo go. Do I'm not Mugano no go. Magajero to Mazimba no tampa. Yeah, manonoka kuya manje ava
unotambwa masvika
ukanonoka vahwina munosvika nakora tuteni ka vachibva ipapo vachitoti hawini vepatotaura kuti aroti mahwini vavaite zvimafanisi saka ndosvika manje because ndiri pagrupu ravo ka saka ndinoona zvine zvichiitika zvese manje now magame andakana half 10 makuseni Sunday League saka vanofanira expect them kuti vasvike kana chi10 you know at the latest then unoona manje makocha akunesekana manje makora pastate boys muri kupi ane vanhu 6 chete palapa kana umana zvacho manje kuzoti vakazi because the team yana inodamba inoda zvekutraina vanotraina Saturday makuseni normally by 11:30 vozonotamba futi Sunday saka training manje kana 11:30 ndobo unoona vanozoita training kana kuma2 kana kuma12 1 2 yeah man.
Interesting. Did you watch the Man U Liverpool game? I was in transit, so I didn't really watch the game, but I haven't wanted to watch the highlights because we were beaten. How was the game?
The game good for us, and I was happy. You know, I was win, and I was happy as well that because as you know, I've been a huge Amorim fan, and up until 2 weeks or so ago, I really started having a go at him because you can't keep on doing the same thing over and over again and say, oh yeah, you know, we'll get used to it and win. When we really like lagging behind, you know, on points, when I felt that he had to do something, because if you don't have all the players that you need and you still have more windows to come, you've got to at least try to play your system but tweak it a little bit so that we can get points, you know, try to get some points. And he was being arrogant. I think I turned on him when he was going on about even the Pope wouldn't make me change and all that, you know. That's just silly, especially when you're not winning. So I was happy because against Sunderland, I could see the tweak that he did, you know, to make us a bit more solid, you know, with that in that system than being open. Because the biggest problem starts from the middle of the park. So he tweaked it, and it worked against Sunderland, and he even did more tweaks, you know, on against Liverpool. And that's what you expect, you know. You want sometimes, you know, where you're trying to play your system, it's not really happening. You've got to try something, and he did. With the Liverpool, it was very interesting because it was almost like he's gone back. He went back to basics, but he went back to basics with an intelligence in our part of it as well on the game. Because where I say the basics was where it was simply, you know, that goalkeeper, the man, you know, he's got a good kick, and he's good, you know, with his kicks, you know, right foot, left foot, and he would ping it. He wasn't even going wide. He would ping it where where they would attack that ball. But because they would have Kuna and Mbume underneath them, so we knew that the defender is going to win the ball, but they were not going to win it cleanly because the striker is like pointing into them. So how it then worked was, when you're doing that, Manchester United, you know, it pulled Ahmad a little bit in. Then what's his name? Dalot,
Oh, Dalot.
Dalot
Yeah.
Dalot came inside a little bit, and then you had Mount. Then you had Mount as well. But in the middle
Okay.
there with Bruno and Casemiro. So Manchester United almost like there were 5 players who were waiting for the second ball. So once Liverpool wins that initial long ball, you found that most second balls were won by Manchester United, because what happens is when you heading the ball,
Yeah.
and you underneath someone, the ball, when it's headed facing the ball, they're facing the ball, so it's easy for them playing the ball from the back and risk, with the Liverpool press, where they would end up losing the ball in dangerous areas. They were starting their play from the second ball that they got from Liverpool defenders, and from there they were really effective. The skill, the tenacity, that the players have, the Ahmad, running with the ball, dribbling, and all that. It was quite good to watch. It wasn't like you say that's how you want to play every single game, but it was good enough for that. It was a way of nullifying Liverpool's strength to win a game. So that Manchester United are not going to time, but that's what I even like more, because it shows that maybe Amorim now is starting to understand that sometimes you can't just keep on going on about what exactly you want should happen. Sometimes change it a little bit. We didn't say change the whole formation, but a bit to suit you. And Liverpool had its own, fair share to there, but so did we as well, because we could have scored 3 easy first half. Yeah.
All right. Because I was hearing some people were saying, Sangalewa.
ZIFA.
Ashribo, how are you? Indeed. We're just discussing Kuro. I didn't watch the game because I was traveling. I was in Manchester then. After we got defeated, I never really wanted to watch the game. So I was asking Black if you would how was the game and how did we perform? Did you watch it, Liverpool, Manu?
Yeah, I did. I watched it,
Yeah, how was it for you?
Oh, well, Man U took everyone by surprise. That's for sure. No one expected them to put a performance like that, like they did. But then he had guys from Liverpool and who were not on their best form. Van Dijk, chief culprit. Kekes is the other one. Konate was okay, beat par. But then Mo Salah is, it's about time he's dropped from that team. I know it's a controversial thing to say, but
today he has been dropped for the Champions League game. He started with the front
He's
three
been
of
dropped.
Capo. He's been dropped. Nice front three in the Ekitike, Gakpo, na Isak. That's the front three.
Yeah,
then
I think
Viet's behind.
Is the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about time. It was about time he changed something, because you see, I think Stott was operating under this assumption that at any moment Salah will kick in, Salah that we know will kick in, and then he's back to his. But it has taken a bit long, you see. So now he is having to sacrifice a guy who is your most informed striker at the moment, which is Ekitike. He was having to leave him on the bench just to accommodate Salah and Isak. And it's not he is struggling to justify why he would how he would bench Isak when he's the most expensive player in the team.
Yeah.
So Magam Tengere. So yes, he's a legend, Anazan Salah in the team, but it's not working at the moment. I actually applaud him for making that change tonight.
Yeah, he's got the balls, it seems.
He had to do it. It had to be done.
Yeah, because Salah is not an easy character to put on the bench or to substitute to, because even Klopp, yeah.
Wasn't he substituted in the other game? Wasn't he on the bench in the other game? Other Champions League game?
The other Champions League game, yes. So maybe he's easing him into it.
Yes, yes.
I think what you have to understand, not just look being substituted, is the nature of the substitution as well. So, for instance, that game when he was substituted, that wasn't a manager making a mark saying you're not playing you on the bench or I'm substituting you. You know, it's a game like this which shows you the shift of the manager now, because this is a game where the manager is going with his strongest 11 and you're not in there. Yeah. So there's a difference between a manager saying, oh, you know what, tonight, Mo Salah, you start on the bench. DVD, you start on the bench. Vince, you start on the bench. Yeah. If he's doing that, then that shows it's a rotation. But you look at tonight, that's not rotation.
It's being dropped
by the manager. Yeah, he's been dropped, and now this is the first time that Salah would feel that about the decision that the manager has made, because it's not a case of we're rotating today. You're not playing because you're not in the best. You're not one of the best 11 that we have with the way that we play. Yeah. So it can go either ways. It can push him to start being the Salah that we know, or this could be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
For him, never mind the contract. People say, he's just signed the contract or whatever. Contract don't mean anything. If someone wants to leave, just leave. So, yeah.
And contract may also just help preserve his value. At least you can get a few millions, even if he's not performing.
Yeah. You think if Salah has got 3 years now and he's not happy this season, you think they'll keep him for the 3 years because he's got a contract?
No.
Where does that happen? Doesn't happen here. Yeah. So the contract is more about the contract serves purpose to both parties. The club trying to preserve the value of the player, and the player trying to make sure that he's protecting himself, because he's got more money coming in. That's an investment here. So now it gets to a point where Salah is not happy. If Salah is not happy, and if the manager wants to play Salah, then Salah will be happy. If the manager doesn't want to play Salah, then Salah is not going to be happy. And are they going to keep a player who's not happy at that amount that he earns, or they have to cut their losses, or they have to get someone who maybe Saudi or wherever, where they can get good money.
Yeah.
Of course, with Salah they will definitely get good money, because he's still, at the moment, his value is still high. Yeah. When you're talking about those sort of leagues, like where Ronaldo is, he'll go for good money here. And in actual fact, for me, and I know that sometimes, when we're talking Liverpool fans, would think more with their hearts rather than their heads there. And I personally would think, if you're struggling like this, and you've got a squad like the one you have now, you cannot afford having someone who's undroppable when they're not playing well. If I'm asked if I was a Liverpool fan and I'm asked which player has got to go today, if there's a player to go today, it would be Salah. With the investment that they've made, because what happens now is that either you win the league or you don't win the league. We already know that Liverpool are now saying they're trying to build or gel the players who are there, because they've not started well. Even with the games that they've won, they've not really played well, and they've lost 4 games on the bounce as well. So it won't be a shock now that Liverpool could fail to win the league or even finish second. But we know the league is still, is still in its infancy, and Liverpool could go on to beat everyone and win the league, but it's not a shock if they don't. Yeah. So if they're building with the players that they've got now, then Salah would have to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's better to take the pain now and and build something else. Yeah. And Zangalewa is on fire. And he now has 11 goals in 8 games, I think, in the league. And
in the league, yeah.
Yeah. I think in Champions League he got 52 in 50 total goals.
Yeah, I think something like that. Is it 52 or 53?
So at this rate, is he going to be the greatest EPL number 9?
If he stays long enough in the league, without a doubt.
Where would you go to?
What do you mean? Where would you go to?
Why would you go? Why would you leave EPL? And
where you can go to Barcelona. You can go to Real Madrid. Just for a change.
Yeah.
He wins a couple of more titles in City, then he's looking to go somewhere else. I know he signed 9.5 year contract last season. So he's expecting to be there for a long time. So maybe he saves 4 of those and then the last 5 leaves.
Yeah.
Because 9.5 is a lifetime. It's a very long time.
Yeah.
So at some point you would expect him to leave. I'm not putting it past him to stay the entire 9 years.
Yeah, I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to stay 9 years, but it's possible. I think it's just the life that we live now, and the environment and the way people are, it seems like naturally we're getting to a point where we quickly need a change more than we used to before. It will get to a point where he wins everything, he's scoring every week and all that for City, and it becomes the norm. Once it becomes the norm, you're not challenged anymore. There's nothing there, that you're feeling as well and say, you know what, this is making me happy, because you've turned up to the same ground for that many years. Good morning, good afternoon. It's not just about the 90 minutes, people you meet every day, the physios, the coaches, the drills, the food, what you do after training, the city that you live in, everything just becomes too normal. It's the norm, and with those people, they've got money to do pretty much anything that they want in the world. Yeah.
They would want. Yeah.
You get bored, and if I had to put my money on it, I would put my house on it that he won't stay 9 years.
Okay.
It will be cool, but even there's nothing appealing about anything to stay at a club for that long, and especially the other point is especially when there's Barcelona and Real Madrid, because those clubs, they are just like the way that it used to be as well. It used to be the 3 with Manchester United used to, where you just talk about football or joining a team. Manchester United, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Yeah. So not so much now. Manchester United, it still has that, but it doesn't have that pulling power. And now you have Barcelona and Real Madrid. And if we're being honest about it, that pull is lowered as well. no longer the same like when the Galacticos and all that, you know.
Yeah.
But still, a player leaving City, it's either they are going to Barcelona or Real Madrid, or they're dropping levels.
Yeah.
Why I say that is because if you leave Man City and you're going to Bayern, you're going to PSG, you can't really tell me hand on heart and say that you are looking at improving yourself. By that, I don't mean that Manchester City is better than PSG or whatever. What I'm saying is it's not a big pool. PSG is not a big pool to leave Man City for. But going to Barcelona or Real Madrid, every player, almost most players, that's what they dream about. So at some point, when the boredom of doing the same thing all the time catches in, he would want to change. And those two clubs are the two clubs, you know, which is more likely one of them you would want to go to. Yeah. But giving him something though, some credit though on Zangaleo,
Yeah.
There's a massive I'm giving him because I don't always give that to people. With what I know, what I understand about football, and that's my opinion, mantra is always known, and we've had arguments, we've had different opinions and all that with people and all that, and I've always said it's more easier for me to argue with someone who watched the people that I'm talking about when I watched football in the 80s. If someone didn't watch that football in the 80s, then the discussion is a bit flawed, because you didn't watch them, you know, from the 2000 or whatever, So, so I think the point that I'm trying to make is most players nowadays are athletes, as I've said. There's not many naturals like I used to see, but Zangaleo is one player who I can say he would have been playing back then and he would still have been successful. Because that boy is a beast.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about beasts in football, There's beast, then there's Zangaleo. He's in a class of his own because what he does, you know, people sometimes they do not understand what he does, you know, to actually get goals. Something is never supposed to be a goal into a goal. And not many players can ever say that nowadays. I know number nines back then, when you probably, you know, were young, or some of you were not, you know, born yet. That was number nines. When you're talking about number nines, you had in England, you had, you know, imagine at the time when England had Teddy Sheringham, Andy Cole, what? And you had, you know, some number nines, you know, who were playing in the Premier League, who were actually like big number nines, but they couldn't play in the team because they had, like, you could have 10 number nines for England, who any of them can play. So now you don't have that, and now the number nines, you know, that I'm talking about from back then. You can get everything that they were doing. You can get it from this boy and more, because now he's playing in a more modern game as well. So he's going to be one of the greats, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I'm not sure. I hope. Go
ahead. I was saying, if you look at it, he scored 100 goals in 3 years. In about 3 years now, because he came 2022 in 2025 and he's on 100 goals. Alan Shearer is on 267 or something.
Yeah.
Somewhere thereabout. So he's only left with 167 goals. He stays for another 5 years. There's every chance that you catch him. Yeah. So this is why I think he scored 36 goals in the league the first season. Then I think 27 the other one, and 21 last season. So he's always close around that 30 mark. Yeah. So you see, and it's more likely that he will catch Shearer than the other way, than that he will miss out. So the only thing, like I said, is if he leaves Man City and then goes to any one of these two clubs, either Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But he's just a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak. I've never seen that. I think the only person who came close to that in recent years was Suarez during that year. I think where he got 32 games in about 30 or 32 and Sturridge. But yeah, the rates that Haaland goes is just crazy.
The rates Haaland is scoring at, if you hear Man City go, you are not watching. You just expect that it was him. You now just know that it's him. You see?
Yeah.
Like 17 minutes into the game yesterday, bang, he has scored.
Yeah.
That that settles down everyone. I once mentioned the other time that when I used to play as a goalkeeper,
yeah.
Once we went ahead, it would call me as a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, I would be more calm once we are ahead than when it's 0-0. Because I know if I concede a goal, then we are more likely going to lose. But if we are ahead, then I have room to play with.
Yeah, you have room.
Naturally, it would settle my nerves, and then I would start playing at my best when we are leading. But when it's 0-0, there's tension, there's everything. So what he's doing for that team, he calms everyone down by scoring those goals.
Yeah.
Everyone relaxes. Everyone starts playing their best ball.
Yeah.
Once he's put them 1-0 ahead or 2-0 ahead. So it's very important. Like, as everyone knows, the most important or the most difficult thing to do in
scoring.
In football is to score.
Yeah.
So it's sublime what he's doing.
Yeah, you are lucky to have him. So
but the problem is that everyone else is not at the same level with him. Not to expect that they are going to be at the same level, but I'm talking about the other midfielders and the other players. They could raise their game a bit to get closer to the standards that Haaland has set.
Yeah.
Doku has improved a lot, and that's massively improved from the first 2 seasons that he was at the club. And Foden is starting to play a bit more like himself. But you see, that season when he was when he won the player of the season, he was doing things that I'm not seeing him do. You see, when he used to receive the ball just outside the box, either you receive it on the half turn, he's just pushing it a little bit to the left, giving him chance to take a shot. But he's not taking those shots anymore. That shows that probably he's lacking confidence. He takes the other ball, and then he starts looking for someone to pass it to. You see? But when he was in form, when he was at his best, it was just by instinct. You just touch and then bang, and it was top corner more often.
Yeah.
So now it's either he looks for everyone or looks for where is Haaland, or look for to put it sideways. We need someone who get as close the level Haaland is playing. We get that one, then we have a chance of winning the title race.
I guess you can get that if Mamouche comes back from injury.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Mamouche, you see.
Yeah.
Mamouche, when I watch him play, he's good. He can score. He shoots more often than most players do. but he also holds on to the ball unnecessarily long. See?
Yeah.
If there are runners and he has the ball, he's looking to go past one person, go past a second one before he releases that ball. There was a game that I was so furious. Oh yes, it's the Brighton game when we played against Brighton and ended up losing 2-1. There was a game where it was him and Oscar Bob who had broken behind the defense of Brighton. And then all he needed to do was to put a through ball to Oscar Bob. He didn't do that. He tried to go past one defender, and the ball was taken, and the attack died. You see? So I'm not. He has that in his game that needs to be corrected, or that needs to be fixed. It's like you see, I'm always shouting about Kovacic. You see, Kovacic is a good football player, but what he does, he tries to drive the ball a lot. In that team, you cannot be driving the ball too much like it. Because the way City is set up is that you receive the ball, pass it on, move it on to another, looking for a space, looking for someone who is free until space is open up behind. Someone runs behind, and then you put it through ball. You see? But he tries to get past two people, and then he loses the ball.
He loses it, and then the gap is open.
Yes. Yeah, it's an admirable skill, you know. There was a game ratakatamba ku Enfield. Press was, you know, like backs against the wall, and it could be you're just hoping that I hope it's not 4, I hope it's not 5, you know, or some ridiculous scoreline. And then he came on, and then he used that as an asset, you know, like holding the ball. You just drive with the ball, keeping the ball, and it relieved the pressure on the other guys. You see, the guys could relax when he has the ball. You see, so there is times when those things work, and there are times when they don't work. So if he needs to know when to release the ball, same thing that Mamouche needs to do, and also Nico Gonzalez, because we are now having to depend on Nico Gonzalez when Rodri is not playing. So he needs to understand how, and he's been getting it. He was getting closer and closer. It's unfortunate that he was injured last night.
Injured again.
So then we are back. You see, this is the problem. There was now the next person who is coming in that position is Kovacic. If Rodri is not fit. And then he starts driving the ball. So all the progress that had been made when he was away of moving the ball, of playing as a team, then that progress is lost. Then we hope that Rodri comes back in time. You see? So injuries, like they did last season, destroyed that team. And they're still destroying this team right now. You see, we could be playing. We were not supposed to lose against Brighton that game. But I understand you lose games. You don't win all games. We lost against Spurs and we lost. But we lost the game against Brighton because someone was being selfish. You see, if he was releasing the ball fast enough, we could have gone 2-0 up. And the least we could have had from that game was a draw, not a loss.
So it seems like, as it stands, you are now Man City is the only challenger to us now, as it stands. Maybe Liverpool may come back, but I don't think
really. Liverpool I think Liverpool are still in with a chance. They are still in the title race.
It's there, but it's
only how many
5
points?
New players. Yeah, it's 4 points. We are 4 points behind us now.
4 points behind. That's nothing. With how many games? Like 32 games to play.
Yes, but it now depends on whether Slot is good enough to build his own team, or if the new players who are there are able to adjust to each other fast enough, which is very tricky.
Yeah.
4 or 5 players in attack, it's very difficult to just start clicking at once, unless
Yeah.
if there are players who have the character to sacrifice themselves a bit for the rest of the team. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. Uh, when you have as many players as you guys have, playing, like you have Isak, you have Eketike, you have Vets, who is the other new guy, always in
Um,
defense, Kekes.
Kekes, yes. Then Frimpong
Yeah, so
seems to be played
I think he's a
position
bench
Sala
player.
or right back sometimes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So mainly he's just trying to find his front four, the
Yeah.
best four up front. And those guys, they are top professionals. They are top footballers. It's not gonna take them too long to figure out he plays like that, he plays like that, and then they start gelling. So I wouldn't rule out Liverpool at the moment out of the title race. I think maybe you're
I'm
just
doubting us very
putting
much.
too much emotion into it, but Liverpool are very much in this title race.
Yeah.
No,
Those
Sorry,
guys
guys.
will click and
I
will start
I,
scoring.
I lost the network. In fact, it was a
oh,
network error. Everything on EE, on my, I don't know if you've got EE. It just went flat out. I couldn't.
oh,
So even the anything else on the internet, there was nothing. Yeah,
okay.
Mm.
No,
yeah. But
interesting.
yeah, I would just say I wouldn't. Nah, never. I wouldn't rule out Liverpool. To be where Liverpool is, not having played well, tells you of how frightening it can be if Liverpool actually, ends up playing well. Because you're not playing well, but you're in the mix. You had like 4 or 5 games, but that's you won, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's. I think sometimes this is the difficulty that we have, as fans, when we talk about football, because you see that many a times people speak from an emotional point of view, and that is like Liverpool fans speaking as Liverpool fans, and other fans speaking as rival, speaking as rival fans, uh, and not be able to be objective, because you look at it, what makes anyone think that Liverpool is not going to do well this season? At this moment in time, even with those 4 games, you can actually see that on and this is by many goals, but we could have beat them. This is football, yeah. Are
Yeah.
they a threat? Yes. Are they? What has happened? What has happened to Liverpool is my blame. I put it on one, the coach, and secondly, the top brass. The reason why I say that is because, for starters, the manager, it stops with the buck stops with the manager when it comes to recruitment. And I was saying, even myself, I bought into this idea that he is a genius, Slot, because I was struggling to see his fault until towards the end of last season, when I thought, you're being exposed a little bit here, But at the start, I just thought he took Klopp's team, tweaked a little bit, and he was just flying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now, I put the blame on him because I feel personally that he became too complacent about
Yeah.
his situation because he had just won the league. And sometimes you think you can do no wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the executive says, there's the money. You can buy players. We've got 500 million here. Go and buy players. Yeah. I feel like he didn't stick to what worked for him because he just felt that he needed to improve such that he would just change the cog of the machine. You're not removing everything, but he removed some players there. And yes, I know some players wanted to leave, but he could have done more to keep some of the players who I think left because they were the reason why they did well. But you know, when you're not in the forefront, you're not really noticed until people realize that, you know what, this team without this defensive midfielder, they cannot win a football match. Yeah. But who normally talks about the defensive midfielder? That's what happens. That's the same thing there. Because people failed, or if he failed to realize the importance of his press and who was good at initiating his press well.
Yeah.
Diaz, when he was playing, or if Diaz wasn't playing, Nunes was playing. But if you talk about Nunes, everyone laughs because
everyone will laugh at you, but he was very important.
Yeah, but and now you look at it and say, out of the strikers that they've got, who actually is showing press? Yes, anyone can press, but we're talking about a press where you actually pressing them and winning the ball and straight away you're attacking them. Because Liverpool scored a lot of goals through that. Yeah. Isak can press, Ekiteke can press, but they don't press like Nunes.
Yeah.
Certainly Witt is not going to press like Diaz. Yeah.
So are you, Coach, are you advocating for Nunes with Nunes akachengetwa?
Sorry, it was cutting off. What did you say?
I said, are you advocating kuti? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, are you advocating for the idea that Nunes should have been kept in that team?
Yeah, I do.
I disagree.
I always did. Yeah, I always did. But and it's fine. But I'll tell you. Let me give you a reason why. And I'm okay with you disagreeing because, you know, that's the beauty about opinions. Yeah, you know, what I'm saying is, Nunes was never going to be your main striker. Was never going to be. The only way that you would drop, you know, someone like Nunes and say we don't want you is if he's crying out to be the number one. You definitely know that it's not going to be the number one. But if I ask you a question, throughout when Liverpool won the games, do you admit that there was a number of games, important games that got Liverpool the league, which was which were won simply because of Nunes?
Yeah.
Would you agree to that?
How many games of those? How many were those?
The most crucial games, like the 10 men, we were 10 men against Newcastle, and we came back from behind because Nunes came on and he pressed like a demon and he scored 2 goals at the end. I think there was another one again, 10 men against Fulham. He did almost the same thing.
Yeah, but how many games are those? You mentioned 2. But I doubt there are more than 6, 7 games.
Yes, there will be. Many games. It's not about him scoring. The difference there is you've got to get it right. It's not just about when he scores. It's about when he effected Liverpool's play for Liverpool to win games. There's a difference there. Yeah. So it's not just him scoring. It's the games that actually, you know, Nunes could come in and you actually see that all of a sudden Liverpool would change completely if he was on the bench and he comes on. And there's so many games I remember sitting and watching and I'm thinking, you know what? Nunes has actually won them this game. But he's easy to take the mick out of because he does miss a lot of chances. But so people were not looking beyond that to actually see the difference that it makes to Liverpool. And I tell you now, yes, I know that they're going to gel and it will get better. But right now, you can see that they don't have Nunes. You can see that they don't have Nunes in there. But you know why people would disagree many times? It's because you look at the quality. Yeah. So let me give you an example. Bits, you paid 100 whatever million. Yeah. But at this moment in time, with what he's done so far, and I know he's probably going to improve, would he be more effective in that Liverpool side than Nunes? Because he's playing in a forward position, yeah?
I would say yes, sir. Because his first game he scored.
I'm talking about right
now. I'm talking about games that he has already scored. The first.
You mean Vets? Is Vets? Is Vets?
Why would you compare number 10 and the center forward? The center forward for center forward.
Right. Okay.
Ekitike came to replace Nunes. Right. So we compare. Yeah. We compare Nunes and Ekitike.
I'll tell you why I said Vets. Yeah. I was talking about just about someone. I'm not thinking about the strike. I'm just talking about someone who is going to initiate, the press, because with the way that Liverpool is playing, Vets is not like he's sitting deep as a midfielder. Yeah, he's not sitting deep as a midfielder. He's actually being pushed forward. He's pushing way forward, than a normal midfielder. So I'm talking about the press. In my head, I was thinking about the press. Maybe I should have explained that. Yeah, I was talking about the press because Liverpool don't just win games because they have the ball. Liverpool win games because they win the ball where they don't need to do much to score a goal against you. And that has been a very important part of Liverpool winning the league last season. Yeah, I'm not saying that Nunes is out of this world, but what I'm saying is when you look at the way even they press, even with Ekitike, yeah, he does not press the way that Nunes would do.
Yeah,
if you want, okay.
Okay,
let me ask you a question. Can you tell me one or two games where you actually saw the difference? Forget about his quality. I keep on saying this before you answer me. Forget about his quality on the ball. Yeah. Can you tell me one or two games that you remember Ekitike is doing exactly the same thing that Nunes would do, and Liverpool, benefited from that?
No, Ekitike cannot do exactly what Nunes did. Ekitike has got to be Ekitike. He's got to be himself, and he's being himself, and he has scored. First game, he scored a goal and assist. I think the following game, he had a goal. 9 times out of 10, you give those chances to Nunes. He misses. You don't want a striker where you don't know, or it's 50-50 the amount of time he scores and the amount of times he doesn't. You see? So you have a prolific. Okay, he might not be as prolific as Haaland, but when you give him the ball, he scores. He brings other people into play. That assist to Gakpo, that I think it was in the second game that he passed. It was like he created that goal, but not by pressing, but by being himself. And by being himself is like knowing where to be, knowing how to bring other players into play, and playing with your fellow forwards.
I get you. So my question will be now to you. This is a general question for Liverpool, yeah? Right now. So we're saying, so you are agreeing that Liverpool has changed the way that they play because they can't play the way that they would play. You just agreed that, yeah?
No, not because of the Nunes issue. Nunes was coming from the bench. What 90 or 60% of the game ran out. What were they doing? When they were not pressing as Nunes presses, Arpa bench, what were they doing? They were winning games sometimes when he was on the bench and never came on the pitch.
How often?
So they were still good.
Yeah.
They were still good without even Nunes coming on. It was in those games where they were desperate, and then they just throw him, go on.
Yeah.
If I may ask you, OJ, what times on average, which time of the game did you win most of your games?
Last 15 minutes.
Yeah. And so if Nunes was on the bench, when was he coming on?
If the game was not won, of course, Nunes would come on last 15 minutes and you would run. But
Yeah.
I get what Al is saying in terms of being prolific and being pretty and being nice. Nunes is not, and I guess as a starter, he can't be a starter for Liverpool. So it's a difficult thing. If he wants to play, he can't be a starter. But on the other hand, as a sub, he was very important because he was able to effect the game coming on, and we are actually missing that. Lately, I think Chiesa has come on and do a similar role,
Yeah.
but this underlines the importance of
And that's why
what Nunes
that's
was.
why we have to respect, and that's why
Yeah.
you're told to respect the squad, not just 11. Yeah, because
Yeah.
11 players don't win you a football, don't win you a league. You win a league by the squad that you have, a core that you have, and there's certain people who can do certain things that others cannot do. If you don't replace those people and think, oh yeah, maybe because he was playing 15 minutes, and yet the times that you were winning your football matches was around the time that those certain players were playing. So what it means now is, let's say, let's give with this and as an example, and say Liverpool are winning in the last 15 minutes, so they had a certain way of playing, which involved players like Nunes for them to win, and now you don't have that. So you still have the players who can play like Diaz, who can play like whoever was playing last year, the first 75 minutes. Yeah, you have those players now. The Ekiteki's have replaced those players, but did you replace the players who do that type of play for you to win? You don't have that, because who comes off from the bench and does what Nunes was doing?
Chiesa, he just told you.
Yeah.
Chiesa is there, and they got him for 11 million.
Chiesa, but Chiesa is not Nunes.
He's not Nunes, but he's doing exactly what Nunes was doing.
I like Chiesa.
And he's scoring on top of that.
He's not. How long has he played? Nunes did that over a full season. I like Chiesa. I like him. That guy. I actually get annoyed, even though I'm not a Liverpool fan. That I think Slot is disrespecting that guy. That's my opinion, because that guy, he's a World Cup winner. He's proper baller. But he doesn't get the minutes that I think he deserves. But certainly, if we're being honest about it, he does not do what Nunes would do. He comes in, he's great because he's clever, he's very intelligent. So actually, he's more intelligent than Nunes anyway. Yeah. But for what Nunes would do, that was my point. For what Nunes would do, Liverpool has not replaced us. So in essence, for us not to obviously stay on this here, what I'm trying to say is that if you don't replace what it partly made you successful, then you're just relying on the players that have replaced the ones who start up to the 75th minute. You'll be fine with that, but they'll be alright. But if they're not delivering the goods, and you want to rely on the last 15 minutes, and you don't have those last 15-minute players, then you've got a problem. That's why those managers know how important certain substitutes are. And one manager who was good at that, Fergie would make a player feel special, like the socials and all that. Even some players who came as starters and ended up being subs. You would make them feel special, knowing that they're playing for Manchester United. But you knew, and also it actually, it answers for itself. Manchester United, Fergie was known, it was known with the Fergie time, yeah?
Yeah.
And we had players who could come in and score, score. So there's a certain type of players that you have to have. You can't just have superstars in a side, and that's the reason why some teams struggle, because you're trying to fit everyone who's very good on the ball. You're trying to fit them in a side rather than have a balance of players. It's like having the three Brunos in midfield. They're going to do well on the ball, but they may be not going to do so well on the off the ball. So that's my point. And why I say that was because I feel that the manager, the winning of the league made him just change, look at players and say, you know what, okay, the money is there, I'm just going to buy, oh, he wants to go, I'll let him go. He wants to go, I'll let him go. He wants to go, I'll let him go. Yeah, and it's not helped clearly. And all of us here, we know that Liverpool were being lucky in some games to win games. They came out with 3 points and you're thinking, how the hell did they come out, with 3 points there? So this issue about the difficulties Liverpool are having with that squad didn't start from 4 games ago. It started from the start of the season. You could see that Liverpool are not firing on all cylinders, and you could, but they were just winning games. You've got the DVD when he scored the header, last minute, and the others where you just think, yeah, you know what, surely you should have come out with a point in this game, but you've come out with 3 points. But that's the sign of, big teams as well, yeah. You just come out with 3 points out of, from nowhere, out of nothing. So that's the fault that I was giving to the manager. That I think, things were overdone. You could have still done what he was doing, but I think it needed to be done gradually, especially the fact that he knew as well that someone like Trent was going as well. It then ended up, just being too many players who were important in that setup, leaving. And bringing in these, of course, they need to gel. They've got to understand, football is about understanding each other, from a second nature. I've got to know that if I'm making this run, OJ is definitely going to put the ball in there. I don't even need to look and then you put the ball, because maybe if I do that split second, the defender covers me. OJ's got the ball, I'm running in there because I know you're going to put it. So that's second nature, players gelling, getting used to each other. And obviously now that's not the case. And it could happen, and Liverpool could end up, beating everyone. But at this moment in time, the failure of the team came from the coach being haphazard with his side, with getting rid of players or letting players go, because he could still have kept some and gradually do it. But because also there was the temptation with the money as well. You're thinking, when you've won the league, you're thinking, my ideas work, so what? Even if I change 4 or 5 players, it's still going to work because I'm bringing in more quality. But when he brought quality, did he then bring a Nunes from that quality? Do you see a like for like with Nunes? That's my point. So you looked at the quality. Look, Vita's got quality. Ekitek has got quality. Isak has got quality. Yeah, but we didn't see a replacement for that player who was a donkey, but a good donkey for the side. That was my point.
You see, you are all putting all the other like the good things that happened on Nunes. See, we are forgetting that there was Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? How many balls was Trent Alexander-Arnold putting for Mo Salah? And is it a coincidence that the absence of Trent has resulted in Mo Salah being not so good as we thought he was, or as he has been, right? Mo Salah toziva kuti akaisirwa bhora kanzi chu over amhanya oenda and cuts inside and then takes a shot. But now those balls are not coming because Trent is no longer in the team. It's another thing that has cost Liverpool right now. So they lost something in Trent Alexander leaving that was not replaced. I get the point, Ryan Nunes. You need someone who comes and affects the game from the bench. Yes. But what I don't think, I agree with you on one thing, that he didn't have to make all those changes that he did to the team, as many as he did in that squad. That squad was good enough to go for another season or two with just a tweak here and there. Maybe another player and qualities almost close to Trent. Warmis up right back, and then just change one or two. But I think because Diaz did not get as much playing time last time around, he kept being rotated. I think 2-3 games he's out, and then he comes in another game, and then he plays as a center forward. He's put on the left. So he thought, this is me just thinking, but I think he started assuming that I'm a bit power player here. I'm no longer as valuable to this squad as I thought I am. So, or as I was. So Pagawia Bayern, when Bayern came for him, I think that's when he started agitating for the move. I need to go.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you were not playing him regularly, and he's pointing it out to you. He said, "Here is a team that is requesting my services. I want to go."
Yeah.
As a coach, you feel obliged with, okay, I understand why you want to go, and you go. And then you ask upstairs with, do I have money to replace this guy if he leaves? Then they tell you, yes, we can replace him. I understand.
So you've brought it back to you've brought it back to the coach, you see, because the coach, if you're the coach, yeah, and you know what Diaz could do for you, it's you who's deciding, because you've got a chance of saying, this season I'm going to use you more because I need you because of blah blah blah. Look, we've lost Nunes, we've lost Jota. And blah, 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 blah. You sell the idea to a player, yeah? But if you decide that you want him gone, you go to the board and they say, yes, we've got money, or we can give you the money that you sell him to get someone else. So it means that you as a coach, you're making that decision to get rid of him. So he wanted to go, but did you do enough for that player to stay? Or you just said, you know what, we want to improve, so we're going to get rid. So he ended up losing Nunes, Jota, obviously, unfortunately, and Diaz. Yeah. So those three, because the coach felt that if he gets money, he'll get maybe what he thinks is better quality. Yeah. And it comes back to the point that I made. Yes, you can get better quality, but now you're so comfortable in the way that you do things, you're forgetting that maybe if you've lost 2 quality players in the donkey, maybe you need to buy 2 quality players in the donkey who does exactly the same as the donkey you're leaving to go. So that donkey, because if that donkey made your system work, we didn't say Nunes was the reason why Liverpool won. We said he played a big part, because the big part is if you lose 2-3 games that probably Liverpool won because of him, then probably you don't have the points to win the league. So everyone is important, but you're looking at specific things that happen. So now you know your system is, with these 2 special players, they're the ones who start. If it's not going well, I've got my player, I've got my backup. So who's my backup now that Nunes is gone? Did he get his backup for Nunes? He didn't.
You see,
he got
no. Let's rewind.
He got quality.
You see, Gatar say squad the squad last season, what it was like, right? Ekitike came to replace Jota, who sadly left us, right? When he decided that he needed a new number 9, it was either I'll keep Nunes or I can bring in Isak or bring in another striker.
Okay.
And they were thinking that they had confidence that they can bring Isak in. You see, all that drama na Isak, he knew that Liverpool were interested in him. So they probably must have been a conversation that happened, that they guaranteed him that we will come for you, right? So when it came to changing the center forward, they are thinking we are going to have Isak. if you were in Slot's position, keep Nunes and he gives you 2 goals or 3 coming off the bench, or I have a regular starter who scores goals in Isak, would you still keep Nunes or would you bring in Isak? Because at this moment, I think Isak came to replace Nunes. And can you justify that you have to keep Nunes so that and not buy Isak? Is Isak an upgrade on Nunes?
I think
Okay.
in hindsight,
We've said. Sorry, I'll say the last thing. We said Nunes wasn't playing much. Yeah. So how does how is Nunes replaced by Isak if Isak is coming to start? So who was starting
I'll
for
tell
Liverpool?
you. Diaz, how many? It was Jota and Diaz who were rotating as number 9s. While Nunes was sitting on the bench. So he was out of the question of being a regular starter. So the coach wants a regular starter to play as a center forward. He knows Diaz wants to go to Bayern. And he knows that he cannot rely on Nunes. And he knows he can get Isak. Would you blame him for going for Isak?
No.
So they lost 3. They lost 3, yeah? They lost 3 players. Yeah? They lost 3 forwards, yeah? Who needed to be replaced, yeah? 3, Jota, Nunes, and Diaz. Who did they bring in? Ekiteke and Isak. Did they bring another forward? Did they bring in another forward?
Because Chiesa was already in the team. Chiesa was brought in January, wasn't he? In January.
But he was there already. He was there from the start.
No, he was brought in January.
He was even missing out of the side. He was actually
there from August.
He was there from the start. He was actually missing out from the squad. He was being dropped out.
Who did you bring in January?
In January, January we didn't buy anyone. I think that's when we made a deal for the goalkeeper. This keeper who's starting these days.
Okay, that guy. Yeah. But all right. Anyway, you see, I think he was injured or something. This is why I'm thinking he came in January, because there was a time where he wasn't available to the coach. Chiesa, he wasn't an option, right?
Yes.
And then,
but there are times when he was available and the coach wasn't picking him. He didn't fancy him. He was there already.
Why is he fancying him now?
When these three were there, he was there already. He was the 4th striker. Yeah, and so they then got rid of 3. Jota, Diaz, and Nunes. Yeah, those 3, and they only brought Isak and Ekiteke in there because Chiesa was there already. So Nunes wasn't replaced. And unless if we're saying Nunes was replaced by Wits.
No, not by.
So that means
Vets is a midfielder.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is, you sell a player, you decide you're getting rid of a striker, but you're going to get an attacking midfielder.
Yeah, but Inzo, he knew. This is why I keep bringing the issue of Chiesa. He knows you go, I bring in Vets, and then instead of a like for Nunes, then I have Chiesa. I'll start giving Chiesa more minutes. And they will start doing what Nunes was doing for me. Because how many times are we seeing Chiesa coming off the bench? And effectively so. You see? So we already have a replacement. Yeah, Nunes. You can't say Nunes has not been replaced. So when I say Chiesa has replaced Nunes, do you agree with he's doing exactly what Nunes was doing the last time around?
No, I don't. He's doing good, but he doesn't do what Nunes does. He's a different player to.
All right.
I don't know, OJ. You're a Liverpool fan. Maybe you've got that Liverpool. What do you think of the two? Do you in terms of impact?
Okay, I may be biased because I like Nunes, but essentially, Chiesa and Nunes are two different players. Chiesa is more of a classy player. He's got great technique. He's very good, very intelligent, good runs. He can dribble, can take a shot.
I know he's better
Nunes,
than most people think he is.
yeah, he's very
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
Chiesa.
yeah.
It's just that the manager didn't really like him or something. Um, Nunes is someone who ukakanda bhora muchano. If it's a lost cause, Nunes would go for it. If it's
He
a
would fight for it.
50-50 ball, Nunes 9 out of 10 times you win that ball. Because he's just got this, I don't know what he has, like a pitbull personality that would. So we don't have that pitbull personality in our squad right now. So, yes, of course, in terms of, if we are looking at it in terms of a man-to-man basis without looking at the qualities that they would bring in, we would say Chiesa has taken the role of Nunes, but in terms of what they bring in, it's different. Then the
Different.
other thing that would affect it is now the gelling of the squad in terms of Nunes was already known by, say, McAllister. Nunes was already known by Soboslai. He was already known by Gravenberg. But they didn't play as much as with Chiesa, because Chiesa, I think last season, he only played Napana ku Carabao. So that, again, the chemistry is not there. Added to the fact that
Yeah.
Ekitike and Isaac are new as well. So it's like you're bringing complete strangers. They have to start to gel and know to, oh, okay, Isaac anoita maranza, Isaac akabata porapa, he puts it there, Ekitike puts it there. So yeah, I think that's how we've been affected by that. So if we are to improve, it's if maybe the players start gelling and they, as I said earlier, Pipe, someone has to sacrifice himself somehow in terms of goals and assists and becomes more of a donkey than you would have liked to be. For example,
Yeah.
an Ekitike would need to be more of a donkey, maybe even go to the left wing sometimes to let Isaac shine. Salah as well, he can't shine the same way that he was shining last time as the main man, because Isaac will be say anenga ane maruns ari kuda kutoitawo. So and Salah has to know kuti maruns anoitwa naEkitike or anoitwa na, and Salah is more of an assister than people give him credit for. But again, the strikers as well have to know kuti kana Salah ari paposition iyi, you would usually put the ball back post. So the other two attackers would need to know where to go to do that. And I think McAllister was playing as a 10 sometimes last season, and he would make those late runs. Wirtz in Germany, I think he was more of a left-sided forward.
Left-sided, yeah.
Yes, who would
Coming
drift
inside, yeah.
inwards. Yes, who would drift inwards. He was not playing as an attacking midfielder, Ninga center. He was more
He did
effective
play as
coming
a
from
10.
the left. Yeah.
He
So
did play as a
again,
10
no, no,
he did.
it could be a 10, but it's a 10
who was playing
drifts
their 10?
from.
Who was there playing their 10? You see, they were playing with wing backs, and
yes,
what's it, Grimaldo?
they were playing with
the
wing
one who was
backs.
pushing on the who was pushing to that left side.
Yes,
which means
but
uyaitamba
anenge ari
No, no,
pa-attacking
no, no.
midfielder, but anenge ari
What
ku-left
what he's saying,
drifting.
what OJ is saying is that when you're not a big lad, you say the team is playing with wing backs, yeah. You're not a big lad, so you're not able to receive the ball with back to goal. What you do is you go on a half 10, but you don't receive on a half 10 uri pakati pe-pitch, you drift out slightly wide. You're not all the way out wide, but you go out wide so that when you're receiving the ball seeing the defenders there and where the ball is coming from. So you can see, so you have this sort of a picture whereby if you were doing that and you've got a big lad behind you receiving to fit, more likely players like Fitz, they'll lose the ball because it's not strong. Yeah. So that's why he was drifting. It was just drifting. Not that he's playing on the left side, but he drifts to the left. And it's a natural thing with with players, where you just you come out, because it's what do you call it? It's congested in there. And what you want to do is you want to put yourself in a position when you're receiving it, no one is marking, no one is touch tight on you. So that's how he plays. So it wasn't that he was playing left wing coming inside, but he was good drifting out left to get the ball, and then it's almost like a free roll in a way. It's almost like you have a free roll because you're playing central. You can go central with the ball, but you're getting it out from out wide.
Yeah. You know how I think the best way I can explain it is
position.
You know how Foden sometimes played the number 10, but coming from the right, or Silva.
Yeah.
No. He was a winger.
And Bernardo
an outright
Silva.
Winger.
Bernardo Silva.
Yes, but
Bernardo
Silva was a winger.
But he drifts in. Anika have space.
He was not that. Vets was not that.
No.
Vets was not that position. I'm
telling
you, he wasn't. You see,
no, with City is a bit different because
it's different because
City, but Yolanda it's a line. When you're receiving the ball from wide, you want those are even an Grealish and to an extent like another like a left Kenya. That's because they're playing I'm stamanishi nema wing backs. And it saka hakuna munhu run behind you. Hakuna munhu run behind you because kana kune munhu run behind you kana kusina munhu ariko, then you've got to open the pitch. But kana kune munhu achita run kwauri, you just go out but wakasiya gap rekuti you could receive the ball and then just put it into that channel. So no difference there, Jonah. So playing against now, but positions are not going to see any almost by centimeters, it cannot a few meters, difference, and it does make the difference. And you know what, I'm not. I like him. He's a good player. I hope he does well more Premier League. I am worried about him.
I think it's gonna take him longer than Liverpool fans care to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah. Yeah. I would admit
looking like how he has started so far.
Yeah.
There isn't a single game where I thought that the guy is doing something good. Yes,
but
he can. No. He's a good footballer. He's a good footballer. He's a good player. And justifiably so, he cost the 116 million or whatever he cost, because
he's being judged by that.
Yes, he's being judged by that. Now he's playing that. He's coming to a new team, and he has got that price tag on his back, and then he has to impress immediately in a team that is already struggling. So we can't attribute that to the Liverpool's current form right now is because Vets is not playing at his top form, right? It's a lot of things that are not. Yeah, it's a lot of things that are not functioning in that team at the moment. A lot of things.
I think what you could say is, did they replace the Trent? Did they replace like for life with Trent? No.
That's what I said earlier. They could.
Did they replace Jota with like for like? No. Did they replace Nunes like for like? No. Did they replace Diaz like for like? I'm not talking about the quality. I'm talking about like for like? Are they players who can come and do the exact same job? So let me finish.
They need to do like for like. Was it imperative that they go like for like?
Listen, if they wanted, right? If I win, yeah, 95% of what I'm going to do is going to be the same thing that made me win. But be cautious that some teams are trying to improve as well. I'll try to tweak. That's where we use the word tweak things to get better. Because if I was successful with it, I keep that the majority of what made me successful. I'll keep it. Yeah. So what Slot has done is he's changed massively what made him win. Because if he's not gone for like for 4 players who were a cog in that machine, then that means Liverpool play a different game now. Do you see what I mean? Liverpool play a different game to what they did.
Which is exactly what I think they are trying to do.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, it's a gamble where if it doesn't work, then people are going to say, why are you changing? Why are you changing what made us successful?
The reason why Slot changed, from what I've picked from what he has said, is the PSG Champions League games. I think, in a way, he became a bit cocky, thinking that the Premier League I can manage with changes, and if I improve, obviously, the Premier League I'll be good. But the Champions League, when we played PSG, the 2 games, we were dominated.
I can hear you.
Okay. We were dominated by midfield. Nana Vitinha, Nana Anzandi, Rodrigo Depo, and the other guy. The PSG midfield, yes. So, according to Slot's comments, he felt like he had to upgrade the midfield and some of the attackers so that we are able to also dominate in terms of possession, like what PSG can do.
There's an interview, and I listened to Klopp. This Scottish striker, former Darano commentary on Champions League.
The TalkSport guy.
Yeah, he's also on TalkSport. Yeah. So when he had that interview with him, Ali McCoist.
Yeah, Ali McCoist.
Yeah. So when he had that interview with him, he mentioned that game, the PSG, like you're saying. But what he said is like, we won the league because we used the same players throughout the season. But we were found out around the March, April time because those players now were tired.
Yeah.
He had used them so much, you see. And by using the same players all the time, they knew how each other's play. So they were playing as a team completely. But when they faced a side in PSG that could take them an extra mile, these guys, their legs were gone. So he felt he needed something like a rotation, more of a rotation than playing the same players week in, week out, because you felt that towards the end of the season, they're going to be found out and they're not going to be able to cope. Yeah. So partially, I think that was what he was trying to do, like when he was bringing the players.
And he didn't trust the players who were on the bench then to be of an equal quality as
if he was to rotate them.
Yeah.
You see? So he brought in players that you could say, if I need to change, I can change, I can put so. But where I think he failed, where I think he made the biggest mistake, he didn't get a like for Trent. It was unfortunate that Trent decided that he wanted to leave that team, right? Because on another day, you just say, you know what, you are not going anywhere, right? If he had, but the guy was going, his contract was up. Yeah, that Rupan Rotaurauti, I don't know if you saw when I mentioned it on Facebook a lot. But why wasn't Trent offered a contract like 2 years earlier?
I think he wanted
2 years. I think Liverpool wanted to save money in not improving his contract, right? Yeah. And it was a decision that backfired because he said, you know what? All right, I'll stay on the same salary, but as soon as this contract finishes, then I'm off. It was like the same thing that you guys did with Sterling. You see, was it Brendan Rodgers?
Yeah.
You see, where he was keeping him, I think, on a very low salary because of his age, for some reason, for some bizarre reason, until he started threatening to leave. Then they said, "Okay, we can give you 100,000." He said, "And now even if you give me the 100,000, I don't want it anymore, and now I want to leave."
Yeah.
You see, so that was the mistake that was done.
Why they didn't replace Trent again is because they were saying we have the creativity coming from Vets, from further forward instead of, so we can have a more defensive right back like Bradley playing, but have the creativity come from Kumberi. But the fault in that is we don't have an outball in terms of playing from the backyard, because Trent was a very important player in the build-up in terms of giving us an outball. Yeah. Anyway, we should leave Liverpool. We should leave Liverpool alone. In 5 minutes, we want to talk. So, do you think Arsenal will last the distance quickly?
I think so. Yes.
They have probably
the
I'm not
best squad.
I'm not convinced yet.
I think they have the best squad in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I would say they probably have the best squad in Europe. 11, first 11, yeah. It's not the best, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's quite effective as an 11. And when you then go into the squad, there's no team which is. So the difference is you have two players in the same position. Many a times with certain teams, you have players who, if we're putting on percentage, the starting 11 player is like on 90%. The substitute is like on 60, 70%. Now you have a situation where Arsenal has players where it's almost like you've got the starting one is on 90, the one on the bench is like 80. You get the point. So when you change those two, you're not really losing that much quality. Whereby with other teams or before, you could have a good striker. The one you switching him, you changing him with wouldn't be anywhere near as good as the one who is replacing. So Arsenal, if you put Arsenal 2-11s there, 2-11s there, you can actually struggle to think which will win between the two.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's massive. That's massive on Arsenal, but winning the league, it's a different ball game, yeah. Because yes, they've done well, but if you look at it as well, you can almost equate them to Liverpool up to the point where you started losing games where they're not winning convincingly, but they've got a very strong defense. Their games is almost more on the you could draw because you're just scoring one, and then no team is scoring against you. Like even yesterday's game was really like it was just a mad game, because Atletico just looked like they could win that game, or a draw at least, and then they just collapsed. 11 minutes of madness. So unless Arsenal is really like taking teams, to the sword, then it's not quite there. They're looking more promising than they have ever done, simply because of the squad and the fact that they're not conceding goals now.
but I wouldn't be as confident as some people are, like that. Oh yeah, really they're winning this now.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I hope
because
City
I
and
haven't
Liverpool
because I
can
haven't
give
ruled
them
out
out
Man
of.
City. Because Man City people are forgetting about Man City, and people are forgetting that Liverpool can actually, just look at the points. It's not like anyone is 10 points away from anyone there. Yeah, it's a matter. Two games can change things completely.
Yeah.
Where we are now, so it's still early days.
Yeah, it's very close. Then Nottingham is brought in Sean Dyke. The milk Nottingham. How crazy is your owner?
I think it was quite interesting. I saw someone making a comment saying, Olympiacos, because he owns Olympiacos as well, yeah, and they lost like 6-1 yesterday,
Okay.
and they were saying, oh, so he's sacking a manager who's lost by 3 goals. How about a manager who's lost by
We
6? Yeah,
lost by
he's
6.
got a favorite child, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
But
me who put
I
that.
think it all went wrong from when he had issues with Nuno. But then, being fair though, whoever was wrong at the end of the day, you can't slag off the owner
The
of the
owner.
club.
Yeah.
Yeah, So what Nuno did there, personally for me, he knew what he was doing. He wanted to get the sack. You wanted to get the
Yeah.
sale because the type of an owner that you're dealing with, and that if I say this, he's going to react. And he knew. Who doesn't know? Even us who have never been in presence of that guy know what he would do. The writing was
Yeah.
on the wall from the moment that he opened his mouth and said, "I don't, we don't get on anymore." Blah 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 blah. So that was unprofessional of him, and he knew what he was doing. Whether he was fed up because of what was happening, and I think he found a way of getting away from it, which, to be honest, I don't like. I think if you want to leave, just say you want to leave. Not
Yeah.
not to go on TV
Not
and
the way
start.
that he did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
then the owner as well has got a short fuse as well. He's not obviously you blame him, because things were happening. He confronted him on the pitch as well. He
Yeah.
confronted the
Yeah.
manager on the pitch. So there's things going on there. So no one comes out there, smelling of roses. Yeah, they were all to blame at some point. And now the owner, the way he's gone with Ange, I don't know. I'm not sure. What if it happens with Daesh as well? Would he sack him after 5, 6, 7 games?
I think Dyke may be more successful than Ange in that club
With
because Dyke plays more of a solid style of play.
Yeah,
Ange was coming in with a completely different style of play, so
yeah, true, true.
they just need to close shop and maybe start going up. And I hope they don't get relegated.
You see, by by,
Did
by,
you
by
see?
bringing in Dyke, I think
Yeah,
they were admitting that they're in a relegation fight.
Yeah,
yeah.
That is not an appointment that you do when you think you are going
for
to be
Europa.
fighting for.
There was
Exactly.
there was there was two things there. You're admitting that you're in a relegation fight, and also you're looking at a manager who you think might resemble the one who made the team successful. So
Yeah,
Dyche's system would more resemble Nuno than Ange.
Mm.
yeah,
So the squad was, put together by Nuno. So maybe in hindsight, this is the appointment that he should have done from when he got rid of Nuno. He should have appointed Dyche straight away rather than try Ange. But then maybe he thought about giving his fellow countrymen some money.
something.
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway,
And he didn't.
bringing it back to Zimbabwe. It looks like Scotland have virtually won the league. I think they just need 1 point from the calculations to win the league. So is Scotland was just in Division 1 last year, and our Division 1 is 80 teams. uh, which is crazy in a way, which means there is a lack of quality definitely there. So is Scotland winning the league because of the additions that they have made? Is it that they were the best team? Are they going to be successful in the Champions League next year? Do you have any view on their title win?
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be better than what Zimbabwe has done in that Champions League. So mainly because they acquired as many good players as they can possibly can, because they could, you see, which is okay. You have the money, so what stops you from? If there's nothing stopping you from signing those players, then by all means go for it. Yeah. So, and it has worked out well for them eventually. So because like when I was talking about Scotland with someone, I don't know, I think it was Danai or something, I made a reference to Scotland, that you see, Scotland, when they started the season, they didn't start so great because they had so many players they needed to gel. They bought a lot of players who needed to know how to play with each other. But once that happened, they started winning more games. They started being more consistent. You see, so I think that's the same case in Liverpool. So I think they are more of a better team than most of the other teams in the league. Of course, Moors has been up there with them the entire time. Zimbabwe also has been there, you see. So in the end, they had the extra quality that looks like now it's going to win them the league. And I think if they are going to play in the Champions League, they're going to play fair better than what Zimbabwe has done.
Okay, but the same Scotland players that we have in the national team are the same players who've been struggling with the likes of Lesotho.
Not like for like.
Yeah, but
not like for like. You are bringing other players. You are bringing the Chirewas. You are bringing the Maskwani says to play with Msona, and Msona in Scotland he plays further forward, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't play as a 6.
Yeah.
You see, so those are changes that are happening. And then Billiard sometimes is on the bench, but Anotamba.
So you think Scotland winning the league is it a bad reflection of all the other teams that have been in the Premier League before them? Because coming into the league.
No, I don't think it's a bad reflection. You see, it's not rocket science. If you bring in the best players, you're most likely going to be the best team, right? It's a question of whether those players are going to gel. If they do, which it seems like they have done, then you are most likely will be the better of the team. Then there's other things that probably have been affecting the other teams. Obviously, poor management with Dynamos. And I think it's just disastrous what is happening with that club, and it should never happen. You see, Highlanders is not the same club that it used to be, and Caps United, it's too much drama that has been happening in that club,
Yeah.
For a long time now, and it shouldn't be happening anyway. So, in terms of stability or in stable teams, I would say Scotland fared better. I would put Zimbabwe as one of the clubs that are stable. And Moors also, they are also newcomers, but they really showed some good form and good stability. So yes, the newcomers have come in and seemingly they've taken over the league, but I think we are yet to see more of Dynamo's, Caps, and Highlanders because they are not going anywhere.
You think so? Dynamos is in the relegation zone.
They'll survive.
How many teams are relegated?
And Highlanders, I think there's
4.
It's 4, yeah?
5? Is it 4? Yeah.
Maybe rules will have to be changed.
I would advocate for that.
Exactly.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a Premier League without money? That's
No.
like a Premier League without Dynamo. That's like a Premier League without Dynamos. Yeah, it just don't sound right. Even if you hate them, you have to want them to be in the Premier League.
So
You've got to hate them. You've got to hate them. You've got to hate them by beating them, and not having them in the league.
Yeah.
Except unless if you are those bottom teams, which they would say, you know what, we don't care because if it keeps us up, And for me, Scotland have done what any team, whether in Europe or wherever, if you've got the money to buy the best players and they gel, you win. If they don't, then you've got a problem. It's like you're looking at the Liverpool situation. If you remember, the talks now have changed here to be trying to improve. Most of the majority of Liverpool fans, as well as opposition fans, were saying, "Just give them
the
title
because the Nema players are either saying that I did, but." You still have to play football. You still have to play the game. You still have to gel. You still have to do the right things. And Scotland did. Things happened and they ended up winning, which is the same as you expect. From Liverpool winning. That's the league. That's a different matter. But I think Scotland have done okay. But I'm just not a fan of Scotland because the way they politicize the football in Zimbabwe. That's my negative on them. So it's not the players, but it's the club's name that falls into that because of the top brass or the owner, because the influence that they're now having. If he was having influence on the national team from a strategic point of view, the admin and all that, I'll be fine with it. But when it goes down to players playing in the Premier League, in the national team, I've got a problem with that because I'm seeing players there who do not deserve to be with the national team, but they're there. And
they're league winners.
Yeah?
They're league winners.
What?
They are the league leaders. Why wouldn't you want them to be in the national team?
Because they're not good enough. Plain and simple. Zimbabwean Premier League, yes, they are. We're talking about the national team here. We're talking about a national team where we finished bottom and we couldn't get a win in our group. That's a different ball game. I look at it in this way, and I always use these examples. I didn't watch. I think that time I had fallen out of love with Zimbabwean football, so I didn't watch this boy. What's his name? The popular Dynamos one, the one who's like he's always drunk.
Denver Mkamba.
Denver Mkamba, yeah. And I'm told that he was very good. So he probably was good, to win, to be the soccer star as well, yeah. But when I'm looking at players like that and with the way that he is, even the way that he wants to play football, he just makes me feel like football is they demean the game and is diminished as well. When you have that and you have that owner playing, is it? Rentals, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. with him playing. You see things like that, and Benzema, and then you tell me that it's important that we have players from the Premier League because a team won a league when they're playing in such environments, and then you have players who are coming from professional leagues who are not getting a look in. When you have players who, and like I've always said, not disrespect, but the league isn't great, and the coaching, the level of coaching to then get those players into the national team, there's a few players who are up to scratch regarding that, who I feel that they should be with the national team. And football doesn't lie. We can say what we say, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying local players are making us lose games, but because it's a squad game. But the general quality for Zimbabwe national team is not great, and the table of the World Cup qualifiers tells you everything you need to know. If you have any questions, look at that.
Yeah.
And if you have doubts about anything, you probably start thinking about things more objectively.
Yeah. Related to that, there were a few people who were not happy about your constructive criticism of Chirewa last week. I thought you gave two sides. You said Chirewa is very talented. You said amongst the attacking midfielders that we have, he should be the best that we have right now. But it's just that he's not playing at his club, and that he has not shown any growth between the time that he excited us, I think about a year or two ago, and now. Do you have anything more to
add? That's the beauty of opinions, yeah. For me, I've always been one person where I can have my own opinion and I disagree with 100 people. I won't start agreeing with them just because it's 100. I need to add that number, or there's many of them. I speak my mind, so they might feel that way, and I respect that. But if anyone is objective and not being biased towards the player, they can see where I was coming from because I spoke, on both sides. It was I think a level of criticism which is bent on. Even this morning or today, then I, director, then I put, like you said, Coach Mushi, he speaks from the heart and blah blah blah. He was talking about this issue, yeah. And I said to him, I would want Chirewa to shut me up. Yeah, I would want him to shut me up by doing the right thing. And I say, you know what, you've done great. I won't apologize. I won't be apologetic because because what I said is happening is what is happening. It's down for him to do things the right way, because at the end of the day, it's not my career, it is his career. Whether it's the Wolves' career, whether it's just his professional career, whether it's Zimbabwean career, the bottom line is we can't just look at the good things that these kids are doing without looking at the bad things. Just like we criticize local players as well, we should be looking at the things that's not being done right, by the ones who are supposed to be professional. And I just feel like I see his demeanor, and I think I can also say, just like hundreds or thousands and thousands of people who played football in Zimbabwe as well, I think I'm allowed to have an opinion based on the fact that I was a footballer as well. Yeah. So I kind of know how footballers roll. I know I know what we do. I know what it means if I'm the main man. in the side. I know what to do if I'm undroppable, or if I'm one of those who are highly regarded. And I also know how players, behave when they are not so sure about their position in the side. The hard work that they put in to simple things is like, you can have two people who are late for training, and out of those two people, and they're together, and one is saying, get fambe, to speak, I'm going to 5 minutes, but the other one is saying, someone is you said, we talk about the boys in us. If you check on those two people, you see with the one who's saying, is the one who doesn't play or who doesn't really have a shirt. But the one he knows what he's okay. So all these are football attributes, things that footballers, would do from little things to big things. And I see him, and I'm saying, there's a time when he even tried to do a Cruyff 10, on the match, which was not even necessary. It was on a match, and I think it was the Lesotho match, if I'm not mistaken, which was there was no need for it. It was proper showboat, it was proper showboat. And I'm thinking, but you're in a side that is losing football matches. Stop doing that. Do the basic things. Yeah. When last did you score? If you haven't scored, then you're thinking, and we're saying, be patient. And also, I don't forget, I also take into consideration the fact that he's a young man. I know that he's still young, he's still growing. So maybe he needs someone to pull him. And that's the reason why I even said today, the reply that I gave, I said, if Chireo was in our dressing room at our time, he'll be all right. What I meant is he'll be all right is because you have people like us, and you have, and you don't have one person, you have 3, 4, 5, 6 players who will be like, don't mess with us here. We're not messing about. We want to win this game. The pressure that you give, that comes from senior players, that you don't mess about. When we're in here, we mean business. Yeah, that stops young lads from doing silly things that they shouldn't be doing on the pitch. So if people have a problem with, being critical of someone because they just want us to talk about the good things that it does, if we do that, does it help him? He'll keep on doing the same things that he's always been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no point. Did you watch the video in question? Oh. Okay, you should watch it. It was interesting. It was interesting. Yeah, I think we are going to the last thing. I saw on one of the pages, I think it was Chichi's page, where director Desmond Ali went to see a game here, Sheffield Wednesday, and he saw Sean Fusire playing, and I think the comment that he said was like he's very heartbroken that the young man is not being called to the Warriors because he's something that is really missing in our midfield. Do you think they will ever swallow their pride before AFCON about Sean?
No.
ZIFA.
I don't think they will. You see, ZIFA has been ZIFA. It's been like this for years. It's like I think I mentioned this before. It's like a monster whereby you take off one head and another one grows in its place, which is more evil. You see, avachinje. You see, zvinhu zvatakaona zvichiitika kudhara ndo zvichiri kuitika, like in the case yemfana yeyi.
Yeah.
Victimization in this day and age should not exist in football.
Yeah.
In Africa or anywhere else. We should be free to voice our consent. And this, he wasn't voicing any consent. He was putting in a request. He placed a request to guys, can you do this for me? Can you please do this for me? There's no crime in doing that. You see? Yeah. Then start saying that we're not going to call this guy just because he has embarrassed the FA or what. It's unacceptable. It's something that should never have happened. Mfana where I should be playing, probably should be playing ahead of Nakamba at the moment. Yeah. We're not saying Nakamba Ngasa and AFCON or what, but Mfanoya should have been playing. We don't know as well. You see, that's the thing of it. We don't know now whether he was going to be a good fit or not. Maybe if he had come and played, then we'll be like, it's not working in this team. Yeah. Good footballer as you are, but I don't think it's working, you see. But we don't have that opportunity. Now we cannot make that decision to bring him and hope that he's going to be successful. Because you don't know how he plays, how he gels in that team, how he fits into that team. I think we have already missed the boat on that one. We have only, I think it's 2 games left now before AFCON.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even featured for the Warriors yet. So why would you call him? Yeah, you might call him if you're short of numbers, just in case. But that's not how we should be playing. You see, these tournaments since when did we know that we qualified for AFCON? How many months has it been since we qualified?
So many months.
So many months we had to prepare for what was going to happen in the tournament, how we were going to play, who is going to play, who is going to be the first 11, who are the substitutes. We mentioned about Mapisa. He's in the same boat right now. We don't know how good, if he is any better than Chipezes. You see, something happens, God forbid, to Arubi, then where does that leave us?
Yeah, we don't know.
We are left with Chipezeze because he's the only one who has played a game so far. But we have already agreed that Chipezeze has not been in that game, which wasn't so intense. He didn't cover himself in glory.
Yeah.
So this is this is a situation where we needed to know what Mapisa can give.
Yeah.
Yes, we see what he does with his club. That's why he's in the Warriors squad. He's good. He's a good goalkeeper. But is he going to be the same good goalkeeper in the Warriors squad that he is in his own club?
No,
we don't know that because Coach Anaumpa that opportunity. You see?
Yeah.
Because he was adamant, and that's Arubi is my number 1 and only him and him alone plays. That was a ridiculous statement to make. It was borderline stupid. You can't just say he's my number 1 if he's the only one that plays. How are you going to know the quality of the other guys you have sitting on the bench? It doesn't take a best coach in the world to know that. It doesn't even take a coach. You don't even need to be a coach. You just need to be sensible.
You just know. Yeah.
You just need to be sensible that you need to check that other guy. It's like taking off on a long journey without checking your spare wheel, whether it's good or not. You have a flat tire down the road, and then you find out that the spare wheel is flat as well. Where does that leave you? It's just stupidity. It's not.
Yeah.
You see, it's just not being prudent.
Yeah.
And we cannot operate like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Ndanchikunzwa izvese but ndanchitsvaga foni pandafamba pese apa ndanchiti foni iri kuchaja ngesiuchaja ndoona yasvika pa8% saka ndatanga kumhanya tsvaga chacho. So I hope that I can't, but ndaisa pachajeni yapa 8%. Yeah. So I heard everything. And like like Al said, this is ZIFA, we're talking about, and I really wished, and I still wish that we see things changing for the better. And but we're going nowhere if the same things that used to happen are still happening. Pane imwe article yabuda yangaichitwa chichi as well, which was about Kiti yange yakatota whatnot. Yeah. Yeah. So
I saw that one.
It takes you into exactly like what you're talking about now as well. Kuti, you then realize kuti at the end of the day, players find it difficult to say anything. They find they don't have a voice, because if you have a voice, you dropped. Or maybe I actually think maybe in that squad, maybe if I'm really looking at it, I could say there's one or two people who can actually be confrontational and they won't be dropped. That's probably Mnetsi and maybe Nakamba, because being the captain and all. The rest, they are at risk of being dropped. I don't know the relationship they have with Musone and all that, because he is one of the senior players there. But the bottom line is, if what this young lad, Fusire, is it? What's his name?
Fusire.
I keep Fusire, yeah.
Fusire. Yeah.
Sean, yeah. If that warrants you being or failing to go to AFCON when you're easily one of the best midfielders we have, then it just shows you that we're not a footballing nation. Then, yeah, it's almost like the way we're being run is almost like it's not football related stuff, that gets you into the side, because we've seen players who are a nightmare to deal with, but they will still go, because at the end of the day, it's Zimbabwe that needs to win. And if we can't even give ourselves that chance, especially when we've even gone the whole qualifier without a single win, that tells you that these people don't really care about football as much as me and you does.
Yeah.
That's a reality. We spend time.
Related to that, do you think if we had sorted out our stadium on time, maybe played some of the qualifiers that we played in South Africa and somewhere else in Zimbabwe, we would have had better results?
Maybe, but but we don't know. Maybe, but we can only, because right now, we can't separate one thing from another. The reason why we're playing in South Africa is because of what's happening from the top. Yeah. So we can't then have excuses in a way we could say, oh, but we could have had at least one win or two win if we're playing at home. The bottom line is we see what we see on the table. We lost everything. We lost.
Yeah.
We never won a game. And were there games which we, hand on heart, we thought we should be winning? There's a number of them, but we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea about the home will just be a smoke screen. Of course, we want to play at home. Of course, we want to. We can do well at home, but you can only deal with what you have. Yeah, I think I did in sip. Andingade kufamba nejet, andingade kufamba nejet ndine mari yeeconomy. Ndoita zveeconomy. And handingazoti why mazondita kudai so ndapinda mueconomy. Ndo mangu imomo. Tiri kudhila nezveeconomy iyo.
Yeah, I really had hope that maybe in November, anyway, the friendlies haven't even been confirmed yet, which is a worry. I thought that because General Sanyatwe, when he came in, he was taking videos at national sports, looking like he's bringing people into task, like everything was now being sorted. By September, we'll be playing at home. And now there's no timeline for the stadium being sorted. So
what actually amazes me is we never had anything, not even a one-line report that was made about where ZIFA stands with Fusire. Not even saying, you know what, after what happened, we have realized that we're not going to pick him. Just communication, say something.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah? Huh?
They can't say that out publicly. That's why you cannot hold them accountable.
Yeah, that's why I just think that coach is just exactly the same as what we've always had.
But
nothing
is it
changed.
The coach? Is it the coach Akatimpana as a selector or Fusire was talking to them
Now we
to
don't know.
If I'm the coach, yeah, and a player has done something that I feel is not bringing the country into disrepute, because he stated, and he then had to explain himself as well why he did what he did.
yeah.
I'm going to fight tooth and nail to have him back, because I'm saying this issue is not done anything that warrants dropping him, because I need him. If you want me to win, if you want the best results, you've got to let me have the best players. Unless if he had done something, because this guy is not suspended. Remember, if he was suspended, then ZIFA can say we can't bring someone who's suspended. But he's not suspended. So
they also have to give reasons why they're suspended.
So if he's not suspended, he is eligible to play for us.
Yeah.
So why is the coach not
explanation?
Why is the coach unless if the coach is saying I want him and he's being told you can't have him, then what does it need now? It needs now the coach to come and say I wanted him but I can't have him. He's got to be bold as well.
Will you not now be doing the Marikanis thing with Nono coming out against your employer?
Okay. Pre-match conference or whatever, you're going to be asked a question, yeah? There has got to be a reporter who's got to ask you that question. Maybe in Zimbabwe they don't do it much, but here you will be asked, because it's a blowing issue, it's a hot issue.
You saw what happened.
You will be asked, and so why is Fusire not picked? Yeah. Daniel, what did you... Says no people over. Then coach has got, even if he is going to lie to us, then tell us what your lie is. What to tell Roger as fit. Just tell us something. Yeah. But what we know is you can never talk about him issue fitness, because Argutamba mu a very high level of football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Hopefully they can sort it out. But I'm actually worried with there hasn't been any confirmation in my friendly game for November. I don't know why it should be a top secret.
Oh well, like we said, ZIFA is ZIFA. You remember that? Yeah. I think it was Dara Takambotamba nene some select team to Shnyeber once. Seychelles or something, sort of equivalent in the name of something.
Yeah.
This is the drama that you always
It's a South American country. Is it El Salvador or something?
Yes, it's a South American country. Yeah.
Yes.
Only to realize that and we didn't even win that game.
Yeah.
So November. So November is only what? 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
9 days, yeah. And we don't know who we're playing against.
Yeah.
We don't even know who we are playing. If at all we are going to play.
Or if we're going to play, yeah.
Yeah. So Michael needs to have very good reason to give some excuses in case he loses at AFCON, because you've not given him time to prepare with friendly.
What do you mean? We just mentioned he had how many months to prepare? If there was anything that needed to be said, he should have said it in the months that were there. You look. Those were what?
Those were World Cup qualifiers. You couldn't experiment with World Cup qualifiers.
We realized we are not going to be qualifying for the World Cup from the current time we were out of contention for that World Cup.
Fair play.
Those games became AFCON preparation games.
No, fair play. You can't make experiments when other people are depending on you for the World Cup qualifier. He says FIFA were watching us.
Fair play. It's not like you are supposed.
FIFA was watching.
preparing for a top. You are preparing for a top tournament, right? With those games, it's not like you are selling games by trying different players. You see, so who knows who is best? How do you know that we are selling games
If you're not playing
when
If
your
if
strongest.
if if England have got 23 players, yeah, and they decide to change 6 players on the next qualifier, when they've already won or they've already qualified, does it mean that they're selling games then?
No.
they are
They're not.
selling games?
They are playing the
No, it doesn't
players
mean
who are
that.
of
They're just trying
equal
other.
ability, um, and it's just like everywhere. Okay, a good example. Every time you see a competition, AFCON, Euros, World Cup, and all that, there's always 4 teams. A team that wins 2 games, the third game they're changing the entire 11. Are
Yeah.
they not taking into consideration the other team which is trying to finish second? So
Yeah.
every
Well,
player is important.
Yes.
This is unlike even like say with the Premiership and all, because say with the Premiership you've got a limited number of players who are already registered. Yeah, with your country you can pretty much call. You've got a pool of thousands of players that you can call up on. Yeah. So it's no reason for knees and our. It's not. We don't give him a
It's not like with Arutora
we don't
Vanhu.
give him a pass.
It's not like he's playing players from Division One
yeah.
to play in the national team or something like that. So that there is a huge drop in quality of the players. He's trying, and how can you accuse him of sabotage in the game? It can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had time to prepare for AFCON. The fact that he didn't, that is a stain on him, on his abilities as a coach, not anything else.
Yeah.
Because you have to prepare.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
time of peace, prepare for war, isn't it?
That's true.
So that's the thing with Mr. Nis.
All right. I think we're about to close. Last time I think when you dropped off last time, uh, in Nakev we had sort of agreed that if we are not bringing in a coach like Pep Guardiola or Hervé Renard, it's better to just keep Nice for AFCON. What's your view on that?
I don't see the reason of changing Nis now. You see, if the change needed to be done, it should have been done a long time ago. Probably at the time we realized our chances of qualifying for the World Cup were gone. That was the time to drop him and put a new coach in, give him time, all these games to prepare for that tournament. Bringing now a coach with 2 friendlies that have not been confirmed yet, now to prepare for the tournament is just a recipe for failure.
Okay.
You see, failing to prepare is preparation to fail. Those who know it. So I don't think Nice should be sacked now. You might as well just let him go through that tournament. And at the end of the tournament, we say goodbye, thank you. We start the process of hiring a new coach
What if he goes to
to move forward.
quarterfinals?
Oh
That's the
yes,
beauty of
then he will have
that's
shown
the
that
beauty
he's
of
capable
football.
of champion.
Sometimes uh, people people overachieve. Yeah, it does happen.
Mm.
Did did
Probably will
Leicester
buy him 2 more
winning the
months.
league mean that they are forced to reckon with and they're going to stay in the Premier League forever?
To stay out.
No.
When you're
Yeah.
talking about
They still
tournaments,
got relegated.
things happen. things happen. We've seen Liverpool losing to Plymouth. Yeah, we've seen
Yeah.
Man U losing to Grimsby.
Yeah.
Madness, and you think, how does that happen? But things happen. You could see Nice, getting to the quarterfinals, and you're thinking, wow, how did that happen? And we'll be playing rubbish football, and we still just get goals and win.
Like the
But normally it doesn't happen twice.
draw away to
You
Nigeria.
then keep him because you say, oh, yeah, we got to the quarterfinals. And you go back to the qualifiers, for the next, and he goes back to the knees that and you'll be like, oh, but he did well that
Goes
time. Oh,
back
let's
to
give
the
him a
old
chance. But
madness.
he's back to factory settings.
So he can do nothing right then.
What do you
What?
mean he
If
can
if
do
you if
nothing
you
right?
if you think about it, if you
Yeah.
really think about it, with
Yeah.
knees, yeah, it's not much about uh it's just the football itself, like on the pitch. Because we all understand that managers, national team managers, have got very short time to work with players. It's about him as a person, how he's been with the his communication, and also what the arrogance that is shown in some of the decisions that he's made. Yeah, this is what the people have a problem with. So
The
now,
communication
when you
is
create
German.
when you create a situation with the fans at large, yeah, you've got to deliver on the pitch. So if you create a situation like he did and then fail to deliver, you're going to be questioned more. So maybe if Nice was much more clever, more engaging, and all that, probably he wouldn't get as much stick as he does now. But he gets stick because he's shown arrogance, but the arrogance without the backing of it. He can't back his arrogance.
Results.
That's the problem he has. If he was a humble guy and he says, you know what, I'm trying this, it's not working. Okay, there's these players. Yeah, I know I've got to try all the players. I've tried to give them a game, but they're not up to it and all that. Fine. But if you listen to his statements that he makes, and it's almost like every time that he sits down to talk about something, he just insults people. He just says things that are insulting. And
He
even the
speaks.
last
He
one,
speaks like a German. He speaks directly.
yeah, yeah. But I don't mind someone being direct, but it's the content of what's coming out of your mouth.
Aneka chinyepa ere but.
No,
Like
I don't want to. I don't want to use the word
uh,
lie, but the use autism. It's not backed with facts. Some of the things that he says.
Like what? Like we haven't been winning before him. So he has slightly improved the results.
How?
That's
when
true.
we haven't won when we haven't won with him.
Well, we won the two games that we needed to win. The rest of the games, we held Nigeria in Nigeria. That's something that we have never done with all the other previous coaches. We knew that if we're going to Nigeria, we're
you
going to
see,
get beaten 3-0.
and
Oh,
he's
But he has done that.
but then we failed to get results against Lesotho and all
Rwanda.
them. But we've drawn against Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from his reasoning, if he's improved us, we should be battering Lesotho if we drawing with Nigeria.
Lesotho.
Well,
Yeah,
with Lesotho, we had what,
and Rwanda.
70% of possession. We we had we had clear cut chances, two or three clear cut chances that needed to go. Chirewa should have just scored. Prince Dube, clear cut chance, should have scored. Then we win. So here as a coach, he has set us
But they
up
didn't.
to win, but we didn't. So in terms of performance,
But we're not even
comparing his performance, if we compare the Warriors squad, Tampa Gyros Tapera in terms of style of play, in terms of keeping possession, in terms of creating chances. I think we are light years. Of course, he's not communicating well, but is there not an improvement in terms of performance?
I won't give him the benefit of.
Where are you How far back are you going with that? How far back are you going in checking where the improvement starts?
I won't give him the benefit of the doubt.
We have qualified. Remember, we've qualified for AFCON before. We have qualified for AFCON before. So for him qualifying for AFCON is not an improvement. That on its own is not an improvement.
I'm saying,
and get us out of the groups. That's something we have never done.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm
we have
saying
had better
from the time that we came back
teams.
from the ban, from the time that we came back from the ban, the two coaches who have done relatively well are Brito and Nies. Mapeza and Tapera in terms of style of play and... Yeah, go ahead.
How many games did Brito coach?
Was it 2 or 3?
Was he in charge? I don't think it's even 3. I think it was 2 games also.
It's 2. It's 2. Yeah, it's
when
2.
he had that result against 2. Yeah, I think it's 2. When he had the result against Rwanda, I think it was 1-1. That's when he highlighted the things that needed to change in ZIFA and in the way that they prepared for games. And then ZIFA being ZIFA, they did what they do best. They got rid of him, right? Now we don't know whether Brito was going to be successful or not, because you cut his career was cut short because of victimization. The same victimization that we are seeing ruling out Sean Fusire out of the team. You see, so ZIFA hasn't changed. People organization professionally, you see, not like some division 1 team. They have to operate like at the top level, you see, because ZIFA a lot of other things go in place. Because all right, Brito can argue he didn't win. I think he had 2 draws as well.
Yeah,
he went. But at enough time. But why says now enough time? It's because takamkata short because akanga have some consent. Saka notaura, then you are cut off. We cannot operate. We cannot continue to operate like that as a nation if you want to entertain any hopes of being successful anywhere on the planet. You see, be it our leagues being improving or in tournaments the way we go to play.
Guys, if you see me gone, that phone is not charged. I think because it's video.
I think we're
it's not. It's on. Anyway. It's on 2%. It's gone from 8%. It's on 2%, but it's charging.
All right. I think we're almost done anyway. Anything to add? Oh.
Yeah. Well, no. It was as usual. Very interesting. Like you said, there's so much to talk about football. We could sleep here. So it's good, to have a chat, and then, we'll have more time to talk about things. Yeah. So yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see the drama that comes up this week. We know Zimbabwe doesn't stop with drama.
Yeah,
we'll talk
about
it next week. I hope Anne Slot was seeing us today. He can get some advice from us.
You've been buttering, but you buttered them today, though, Frankfurt. Yeah.
I'll see the game.
I've just had it in the background, and I've seen 5-1.
Yeah.
Frankfurt is shitty anyway.
Yeah.
Don't hate Zagaleo. Don't hate.
What was I telling you? Yeah.
No,
No, I'm not hating. You were hating on him. I was praising Ekitike, and you were saying Nunes should have been remained at the club. Guys,
Nunes was my legend.
anyhow.
Nunes should have stayed. Anyway, guys, atingambopedze pano.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up.
All right, it was nice.
Comments are welcome, and share and subscribe. Share your views as well, and we discuss. We don't have to agree as well, as we always say. But yeah, thanks for the good talk. See you next week.